What's up, everybody? This is David with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Just a few things before we get started. If you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to our channel. You'll get notified of our latest updates and content. If you have anything that you want to hear on our podcast, go ahead and shoot us an email, metrobjj@gmail.com. Enjoy. So, what's up, everybody? This is Coach David from Metro Jiu-Jitsu here with another podcast. I'm here with Coach Mo. How are you, Coach?
Hey, doing fantastic.
Awesome. So, all right, we'll dive right into it. Got some good questions actually this week. What's the first one you got?
So, from some of the questions that came in, I chose this one because there is a big difference. How does Jiu-Jitsu differ from other arts such as karate, taekwondo, kung fu? What's the difference? When I get asked, or when I talk to members or people at GNC about Jiu-Jitsu, almost all the time I get interrupted and they say, "Oh yeah, I used to do taekwondo and Tang Kun San Kwando and Kempo, and I used to do that 20 years ago." I mean, there's not another day that goes by. So what's the difference in your eyes?
Well, the obvious difference is the difference of whether you're on your feet or you're not. All of that stuff. I had true story. Like yesterday, I was grabbing coffee, and this guy was eyeing me up, and he comes over, and I was wearing a jiu-jitsu shirt, and he's like, "Do you train?" So I told him, and he's like, "I'm a taekwondo black belt, but I really want to get into jiu-jitsu because it doesn't do me any good if I'm on the ground." So I mean, if a black, and he used to teach, he was an instructor, and he came in, so he's now he's inquiring about inquiring about jiu-jitsu, and I think he's realizing that, and I think they're coming to a realization. There's some people come to martial arts for different reasons, and as we've said before, there's some benefit to all, but I mean, as far as practical benefit and things like that, and especially what we focus on here, there's just leaps and bounds. Someone gets. I mean, my first fight ended on the ground and with me getting punched in the face. So I've never taken taekwondo or karate, but I don't think that they. Well, I mean, you have. Does taekwondo teach you what to do if you get mounted and someone's punching you in the face?
It does not.
Okay.
So you got punched in the face when you were mounted?
Yeah, he mounted and was just punching me in the face.
Okay. Yeah. When bullies used to execute the mount position, I think that was one of their favorites.
It. Yeah.
Funny story. I was at GNC working with some clients a couple months ago, and some kid walks in, and I was talking to him about jiu-jitsu. So I had a flyer in my hand and asked the kid if he's ever trained before, and he just gave me a really stern look. And he couldn't have been older than 21, okay? Maybe 22. That's pushing it. I'd say 21.
Being generous.
Yeah, so I asked him if he's ever done martial arts before, and he looked at me, and I handed him a flyer. I said, "There's this local school that just opened," and he looked at me. He's like, "I'm good, man. I already have 3 black belts."
Wow. He's 21?
He couldn't have been a day over 21.
Wow.
So he said it really aggressively.
Yeah.
And I honestly I didn't know what to say to the kid.
You're right. You're probably good.
I said, "So your bucket list is empty." So
right. Yeah.
But yeah, there is a big difference, and the different arts definitely. I don't agree with 2 years to any type of black belt. I think that's a little bit fast.
Well, and we've said before, it just deflates the value of it. I mean, how hard how can you compare something that takes over a decade to get, or obviously how much you train, but a decade to get versus 2 years?
Yeah.
2 or 3 years. I don't know how it can be compared.
So from the outside looking in, and I know we've all seen these videos on YouTube, but from the outside looking in, especially sport jiu-jitsu, what would you say to someone who claims that jiu-jitsu doesn't work? So this is, by all of the questions that are coming in, especially new members at Metro Jiu-Jitsu, you know, it just doesn't seem like it's a means to an end, really. How could you explain that?
Well, yeah, you know, I guess I would be curious to know what they like. You know, obviously the short answer is they're wrong. But you know, I would have to. I'd say, all right, so jiu-jitsu is no good. It's not effective. What is effective in the street? You get in a street fight. What are you practicing? Are you boxing? Are you wrestling? Are you a kung fu master? I mean, so like tell me, because a lot of those things. I mean, YouTube's full of like street fight. You know, just street fights. And every video I see of kids at school, the fights end on the ground. So. You know, now sport jiu-jitsu, certain techniques, you know, that are more focused on sport. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to try and berimbolo on the street, you know, but yeah, I mean, by and large, you can't throw you would never throw the baby out with the bathwater.
What's a berimbolo on the street? That sounds like a big python that's roaming the street.
It's, you know, I'm going to try to avoid rolling over my head on cement as much as I can. You know,
okay.
So, you know, practical, smashing, passing, you know, things like that. Smash pass, simple sweeps, scissor sweeps, you know, just the standard stuff. And there is a conversation, especially, I mean, you know, especially in the community about the watering down of jiu-jitsu to cater to the sport, and that's a conversation. But it's nowhere near enough to say that jiu-jitsu doesn't work or it won't work on me, you know.
So another question: we get told, gosh, I would say it's in the top three conversations we have is, well, I have to get in shape before I start. I need to lose weight before I start. And these are very, very common questions and concerns from our prospective members, and you know, people joining jiu-jitsu altogether. What do you say to them?
I really try to emphasize what jiu-jitsu is to them, because I mean, there's plenty of bodybuilders and powerlifters that come in here that it just doesn't do them any good. You know, conversely, I mean, find out what their goal is. If their goal is self-defense, but they want to get in shape, like, then just start training. I mean, you're gonna learn the self-defense no matter what it is. If their goal is to lose weight, come on in and start training. I mean, like, it's all inclusive. I tell a lot of people that my same response is, look, it's not uncommon at all for our adult members, whether they're looking to or not, to lose 20 or 30 pounds in the first couple months, 2 or 3 months, you know. You know, if they're training regular, your body's you're using full body. Yeah, and it's full body, and it's like you're getting tricked into working out almost. You know, you're getting full, like, you don't realize that you've done 4, 5, 6 matches of full body, you know, strength training, conditioning, cardio. You're all smiles and you're like breathing heavy and laughing, and then you burn 500, 600, 700 calories, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's all conducive to me. It's like I wouldn't quite call it a cop out, but there's something it leads me to believe there's something else holding them back other than the weight loss, because jiu-jitsu is the solution to that.
Okay. So take somebody who's 100 pounds overweight. They're obviously going to probably have some extra baggage around the midsection. Mm-hmm. That's going to restrict their movement. Okay. It's going to restrict a lot of the things that they do and can be done to them. So, well, what do you say to that guy?
The answer stays the same. I mean, you and I both know, we've both seen large bodies of all rank that do jiu-jitsu, and a lot of which would, you know, like the smaller guys, like, your size doesn't matter, or size matters less in jiu-jitsu, so there's still moves they can do. There's moves that they probably wouldn't be able to do until they lose 100 pounds or 80 pounds due to flexibility and things like that. But the art's still the same. I mean, we say all the time you have to cater your technique to your body type. I mean, there's moves that I will do that you won't, and vice versa. Just to you and I have similar body types, but others. Like someone who is 270 is going to have a probably much different game than I do, and someone who's 140 has a different game than me. So.
Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't recommend anything to get prepared for starting a jiu-jitsu program? You can do it, but it's almost like I'm scared of the water. Hang on, wait, I don't know how to swim. It's like I don't know how to swim, but you want to learn how to swim. So how do you prepare how to swim? Do you watch swimming videos? I mean, you could put a suit on. I mean, I suppose you could learn it all, but at some point you just got to get in the water. So just jump, get in the water. We're here. You're like, we're not going to let you drown. Get in the water and come try it out. Like, that's, it's almost hesitation, and there's something else, but and it's like, just like when you're scared of heights, or you're on the high dive, might be a good example too. If you're scared of heights, jumping off into the pool, you jump and then you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad, or wow, that was really fun. So that's that would be my answer. So could you give a number on average what a person might lose in weight in the first, say, 3 months? Yeah,
I mean, we've had a few, right around 25, 30 pounds. We've had a few members lose right at that number. I mean, just a few months of training, and 25, 30 pounds.
Is that a competitive person we're talking about?
That's, they're both. It's mixed. I mean, to be fair, they are training probably 3 days a week, so it's not 1 day a week.
Yeah.
But it's, I know one of them for sure did nothing with their diet. Did nothing. Because they want to lose even more, and they're talking about cleaning up their diet.
Yeah.
But their diet remained. Their activity level went up. So their caloric intake assumed stayed the same, but what they were burning went up. So.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see.
So we had another question come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So jokingly, you'll hear people say, "Well, you guys are going to use me as a test dummy, or you're going to beat me up, put me through the ring."
Yeah, that is true, actually.
And so really, that question there comes down: how do you handle defeat? Because you're knowingly going into a place, surrounding yourself around people, and working with a group of people that are much better than you, much more experienced than you. Mm-hmm. And if you start jiu-jitsu, that's going to happen. That's going to be an ongoing thing. And actually, I just kind of feel like that's been my story for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing better than I am. But how do you handle defeat is a question.
So it's a personal question. How do I personally handle defeat?
You know what? Like the way the question came in is, well, yeah, because you're obviously, you've been around, over the last 10 years, you've been around people who have been stronger than you, trained longer than you.
Yeah.
So you had to deal with that as well. So you have experience handling defeat. What would you say to somebody that is brand new, or the old you, not knowing this is what you were going to do for the next 10 years, on how to handle defeat, and whether it be getting beat up every day or just getting beat every day?
Yeah.
How do you
Well, it's a real good question, and I'm not at all gonna sit here and tell you that, you know what, you win some, you lose some, and I just let it roll off my bed. Like that would be a lie. Like it bothers me when I get beat. I think it bothers everyone when they get beat. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
But going back to what I could tell myself or someone starting new, is as with anything, if you're defeated or you fail at something, if that something is worth doing, then it's worth learning from and going back to.
Yeah, but that new person doesn't necessarily know. They can't do a cost-benefit analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they don't know what the reward or the benefit is.
Okay.
This early in their career.
Okay, so then a practical advice just to keep them coming back.
Yeah.
Practical advice. Okay. Well, that is a different question then. The short answer is someone, if we're talking about someone beat you in class on the mat, ask them. Say, hey, what'd you do there? Everyone in here, that's what I love about the jiu-jitsu community is almost everybody is going to tell you. They'd be happy to show you. Everyone in here, I'm trying to train everyone in here to beat me. If everyone in here became as good and contested me and gave me a run for my money every single day, I'm doing my job right. Mm-hmm. Because I don't learn anything I don't learn anything doing the same moves and the same people and always, that. So it's iron sharpens iron. So everyone's going to be happy to help you learn. There's no ego in it at all, and that's the thing. You need to realize that these people are your teammates, they're your friends. They're our family in here, and so you need to realize that. And I think that's a big part. It's funny that this question came in. I know it looks like we're staging these, but they actually did. In the past 24 hours, I had that same Taekwondo instructor. He told me he was talking about some school. I don't even know what school. I genuinely don't know what school he was talking about. He's like, this guy was such a jerk. Jiu-jitsu school locally. I don't know. He's like, I went in there, and the guy spent an hour. He's like, he dislocated my shoulder and spent an hour mocking me the whole time, the instructor at the class, beating him up and making fun of him in his ear while he was rolling. And I'm like, that's obnoxious. Saying I was getting a friend of Amanda's.
That's just lack of.
That's ego. The professor's got an ego, and the professor. I'd venture to say the professor isn't a competitor. He's not.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. You know what I mean?
No,
because
I would disagree. There are a lot of competitors that they get so hung up. They get so much attention from their students and the community, they actually don't know how to handle it. And it becomes the norm. So I would. To down verbally abuse someone while on their first day, that's a special type of jerk. Not to mention the business aspect of it. Same thing. Exact. Friend of a friend. They're training out in Pennsylvania or someplace. The guy was a power lifter. Super comes in. Jack, the instructor, he pulls him in, makes the entire class watch for 6 minutes while he just tears this guy up, and he's telling him in his ear, you don't belong here. You're a power lifter. You're in the wrong place. That guy ended up signing up, but I'm just like, that's amazing to me. That treatment of someone that you're trying to introduce to the sport, it gives a really bad taste. And so maybe that's what people are thinking. If they've had or heard of people with those experiences, maybe that's where these questions are coming from. But that's not at all what you're going to find here. So in closing, anything else you want to add to say to anybody thinking about starting jiu-jitsu, and in closing again, where should they visit?
Yeah, a lot of these questions. This was actually a good series of questions because it was they were all kind of reasons or excuses why not to start or why to procrastinate starting. If you're looking to lose weight, when we come in, the first thing we ask is we try to find what your needs are and how we can meet them. If you come in and there's no way I can meet your need through jiu-jitsu, then there's no way. Okay, but if you're looking to lose weight, you want self-defense, you want confidence for your kid's getting bullied, you're looking for a community, a family community to kind of help you grow and help, looking for more success and confidence in your job, any of that, we can help with that. But if there's like a real reason, like a valid reason, which hasn't been stated on this session, to hold off starting, then I guess I can't speak to that. So just start. Just start. It's not a marriage. We can. If you don't like it for some reason, you want out. Like it's I suppose we can always stop. But people love it.
So we have some listeners. I'm just going to add one more question from outside of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is not a short question, but how do they find a school? How do they filter out all of the bad that comes with the school that you and I are very familiar with?
Yeah.
And find the right place for them.
Well, you got to go there. You got to go there, and you got to try. You got to try out a few. The number one. I think the number one though would be. It's tough. If there's a school that has good reviews, but they have no content, and they're not putting any content out there, like you can't really get a vibe for what the instructors are like. It's a gamble. It might work out, it might not. But don't. Don't. You got to at least try and go. Go in. If you're some red flags though, if you're getting. If you feel like you're getting physically assaulted and verbally abused day one, that's not the right environment. That's not the right environment for you.
You shouldn't sign the contract.
You need to leave. Right, yeah, you need to leave and go find a school. If you walk in and the instructor's friendly and they're like, look, we'll go at your own pace, maybe, wade into it, then, those are better signs, all the upper ranks are friendly and trying to help you and genuinely want you to get better. You're not just their whipping boy for the day. That's a good sign, so those are just kind of general guidelines, I guess.
Cool. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Good insight, Coach David.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like it, smash the like button, and share on social. We hope you have enjoyed this podcast. As always, if you have any questions or anything you want to hear on our podcast, you can send those to metrobjj@gmail.com. Or perhaps you want to start your jiu-jitsu journey today and come check out our gym. We're located at 13555 Eureka Rd, Southgate, Michigan. And we're right next to Planet Fitness. Come on in. Our friendly staff will be happy to answer any of your questions and meet your goals. Talk to you soon.